In this session, I'm going to go over some of the basic functions in Microsoft Excel. So now that we opened Excel, we will go under the Basic Concepts tab here on the bottom. Let's say we wanted to calculate the office expenses. We have all of these cells. In each one of those cells, you can type texts, numbers and values and such. It can be a general number, it can be a specific number, currency, accounting type of format, numbers, dates, percentages. You can format these cells or the values in the cells in percentages, fractions, and scientific notations and text. So here we basically want to calculate the expenses for our office. Now for each month we have recorded the amounts, and then we want to get the total for the training for each category. Also we want to get the totals for each month down here. First, we want to format these currency. We simply select those specific cells, go up here under the number grouping, and then click on the drop down and we choose currency. Currency is going to put that dollar sign in front of it and the 2 decimal points. You can do it from here, or you can click on this dollar amount in here. If you're using various other currencies, you can pick those in here. Now let's say that we wanted to get the totals for trainings. All of those calculations are performed by using formulas. To perform any calculations in Excel, start with an equal sign followed by some kind of function. Now the function itself can be any of those in here. So if we click on the formulas, click on function, the functions can be financial functions, any of those that you see right here, logical functions, lookup and reference, math and trigonometry. So if we wanted to look at the whole list of them here under all, notice that there are hundreds of functions that you can utilize in Excel. Now for the purpose of this tutorial, we are just going to learn about some of those functions so that you get the concepts, and then once you know how this stuff works, then you can go and explore this even furthermore on your own. So for example, here I clicked here under formulas and I chose insert function in case you wanted to find what sum does. Typing in there, click go here. Notice it says it adds numbers in a range of cells. So if we go back here to get the sum of those numbers, like I mentioned earlier, you need to start with the equal sign, the word sum, and then you can open parentheses, and then here you can reference the actual starting point, which would be B6. Notice you have column B, and then the row is number 6. So you type in there B6. This is the manual way that we are learning to do this at this point. And then colon. This means anything from that starting point to, let's say, D, to where it says here for March training, which would be D6. And then close parentheses and hit enter. So that's one way to do this. So notice now the calculation, it's 700. If January's training expenses were 250, notice the total will change automatically. And that's the beauty of Excel. That's why you use formulas and calculations and you use this tool. So that's one way to enter the formula in here. So here we say sum, and you can press tab and it will put the capital letters and also the parenthesis thing. Then you can either tap in here, the starting point, so notice it's 300, and it puts B7 automatically, so you don't have to gauge it where it goes horizontally and vertically, where they meet. And also you can put there colon and then the end point, or you can simply select the cells that you want to add up, and notice it will put the colon in there automatically, and then all you have to do is you hit enter. So again, before I hit enter, to summarize it, you press the equal sign telling the computer that you're going to calculate something in there to start a formula. Then you put the function, which is in this case, it's the sum, adding those numbers. And then we simply selected what the range that we wanted to select. Then hit enter, and notice the amount here has been calculated. In most cases in business, most individuals also use this function here, the automatic calculation. So let's suppose that I didn't have either one of those, and I want calculation in here. Notice that under the Home tab, and then under Auto Sum, it automatically will add up a bunch of cells and the values in them. You click on it, and the computer is going to select those items automatically. You hit enter here, and it gives you the calculation. Now, what about if I wanted to do the calculation over here? Notice it's going to try to do this selection as well. Now, of course, you could adjust that selection before hitting enter, and that's another way of doing it. Now, I showed you the manual way before because that's going to be more accurate, and it also gives and reinforces the concept as to how this works. So now, if we wanted to get the totals for January here, we could do it either way. We could either use the automatic calculation here on the top right on the Home tab, or we could do it the manual way and select the range and then hit enter.